Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome here to the launch pad. You are looking at a live view of Launch Complex 39A at NASA Kennedy Space Center in Florida, where we are counting down T-minus 4 minutes, 35 seconds, and counting till launch of 23 more Starlink V2 minis to low Earth orbit. If it's your first time here, welcome. My name's Zach. I'm the founder and host here at the Launchpad Network, and here at TLP, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow because we believe that space is better together, and we're glad to see so many of you tuning in from all over the world. Take a moment and let us know in the chat where you're watching from. We got Windbreaker in Northwest Arkansas. It's great to see you. We got Denise in Columbus, Justin's in Mississippi, Peter's in the UK. We have catching up on here. Jeff is in Cape Canaveral, where the launch is out. We got Tim in Montgomery. Great to see you. Denise is in California. Lock Watchers in Columbus. David's in Michigan. Great to have you all tuning in here tonight. If you haven't yet, take a moment, gauge that like button, share out the stream, invite people to join us as we count down the final few minutes of the count. Tonight's Falcon 9 booster, though looks rather clean there on the pad, is actually going for its 13th flight, if it's the booster we all think it is, having previously supported Crew 5, GPS-3 Space Vehicle 6, Inmarsat I6F2, CRS-28, Intelsat G37, NG-20, and 6 previous Starlink missions. SpaceX's autonomous drone ship, just read the instructions, is stationed downrange in the Atlantic Ocean, ready to recover today's vessel. SpaceX did have opportunities running all the way into late... SpaceX had opportunities running all the way to 10:45 p.m., which is what they're targeting today. They do have additional opportunities starting tomorrow at 6:26 p.m. Now, engine chill is well underway, and we've been watching there as strongback retract has been conducted of the truss structure beside Falcon 9. You saw that clam arm open, and now that truss structure is starting to retract away as we get to the final 2 minutes of the count. On board, as usual, 23 Starlink V2 minis heading up to low Earth orbit. If you guys have questions, you can send those in the chat by tagging us at the Launchpad, and we'll work on answering those live to the best of our ability. And if you haven't yet, take a moment and engage that subscribe button so you never miss another live launch coverage. We've got a busy end of the month coming up. We're counting down to a launch on Saturday of Electron with the first of 2 pre-fire missions, another group of Starlink on Monday. We have a Falcon 9 carrying the EarthCare satellite on Tuesday. We have a Soyuz launching on Thursday, and then we are, of course, counting down to the 2 big flights everyone's talking about. The Starliner crew flight test, currently targeting June 1st. Same day on June 1st is the SpaceX Starship Flight Test 4. We'll be beginning live countdown to launch coverage of that in the coming days, so make sure you stay tuned for updates. Now less than 2 minutes in the count.
Please.
We are listening now into the live mission control net as we go through the final 2 minutes there. The biggest milestone coming up will be at the T-minus 1 minute mark when propellant tanks are pressurized to flight levels and Falcon 9 takes over the count. It is not raining at the pad. That is actually water overflow from the water tower that is there. You can see it streaching over. That means the water tower is fully pressed and ready for flight. As always, as we head into the last 90 seconds in the count, let's see that final go, no-go for launch from you guys in the chat. If you're not a TLP member yet, consider hitting that join button. Just 99 cents a month gets you access to our custom TLP launch emotes like Justin just used. But let's see that go, no-go. T-minus 100 seconds and counting. Listening for the callouts of Falcon 9 taking over the count.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Now waiting for the final go, no-go for launch. That's expected in the next 5 seconds.
Go for launch.
And there the launch director has given that final go for launch. At T-minus 3 seconds, the engine controller commands will be sent, telling the engines to begin their ignition sequence with liftoff at T0. T-minus 30 seconds and counting.
T-minus 15. T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal.
Falcon 9 has cleared the tower and the pad, beginning its journey to low Earth orbit, launching for the 13th time. The next major milestone will be Max Q, the moment of peak mechanical stress on the vehicle, that expected T plus 1 minute, 11 seconds into flight. But as always, let's listen into that Falcon 9 rumble as we wait for the call out of Max Q.
Power and telemetry are nominal. Vehicle supersonic. Max Q.
And there you heard that call out of Max Q. The most mechanical stress on the vehicle has occurred. The next sequence of events will begin with MECO, or first stage main engine cutoff. That'll occur 2 minutes 25 seconds into flight, immediately followed by first and second stage separation. Then second engine start 1, or MVAC engine start, immediately followed by grid fin deployment, and then about 30 seconds later we will see fairing deployment, when those 23 Starlink V2 minis are exposed to the vacuum of space for the first time. As always, if you guys have questions, you can send those in the chat by tagging us at the launch pad, and we'll work on answering those live during the coast phase as the first stage comes back to Earth. So make sure you're sending those in, and if you haven't yet, take a moment and engage that like button. It's not too late to share out the stream. Denise, super commentary, as always, Zach. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Always good to see so many regulars in the chat. T plus 2 minutes, 10 seconds into flight. Falcon 9 now traveling over 6,000 kilometers an hour, coming up to 50 kilometers in altitude, halfway to the Kármán line.
MECO.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC ignition.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And right when we were hoping to see that fairing separate, looks like they lost the signal to the second stage's front-facing camera, but they have confirmed that 3 minutes, 23 seconds into flight, MECO, first and second stage separation, second engine start, grid fin deploy, fairing deployment, all confirmed, both vehicles now over the Kármán line. The second stage is currently under power, heading to its initial parking orbit. SpaceX no longer provides live coverage of payload deployment, but that's set to occur after the second stage has a second burn, 54 minutes, 4 seconds into flight, for just 1 second, finalizing its orbit, ahead of payload deployment 1 hour, 5 minutes, 13 seconds after liftoff. Now, the first stage is continuing to coast to its apogee. That's the highest point it will travel to during its flight, so keep an eye on that speed. Bottom left corner, when that speed starts going up and the altitude starts going down, we have reached apogee, and we are looking to approach that somewhere normally between 114 and 117 kilometers in altitude. All depends on some of the parameters that are running, so we're keeping a close eye on that. It looks like the speed might have stalled out, and it's increasing. So apogee at 114 kilometers. Falcon 9's first stage now beginning its journey back down to Earth after completing its 13th ascent. It now has 2 burns ahead to do, its entry burn and its landing burn. The entry burn will begin 6 minutes, 2 seconds into flight, lasting 25 seconds before it has shut down. Then it will have a landing burn 7 minutes, 52 seconds into flight, about 20 seconds ahead of its landing on the drone ship. Just read the instructions. Justin Crippen, why don't they try catching Electron with the helicopter anymore? Rocket Lab said that it was too expensive to do so, and even if they went to do a helicopter attempt, they had to send the ship out anyway to recover it if the helicopter missed or had to release it. So they said, well, forget paying for a helicopter and we'll just scoop it out of the water. and do it that way instead. So that's what they have decided to do. If you guys have questions, you can keep sending those in the chat by tagging us at the launch pad. We'll work on answering those live. We are now just about 30 seconds away from the entry burn of the first stage. That'll be on the left side of your screen. The second stage on the right side of your screen, still continuing under power, heading up to that initial parking orbit.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
Stage 1 FTS is saved.
And that entry burn now underway, waiting for that burn to shut down and be confirmed complete.
Stage 1 entry burn shut down.
And there's shutdown of that entry burn. The first stage now beginning to fly through the atmosphere. Keep an eye on the speed. It's still traveling over 5,100 kilometers an hour. It's only got 35 kilometers in altitude to the drone
Stage
ship.
2 FTS is saved.
And just using its body and the grid fins and the thickness of the atmosphere, it's going to burn off most of that speed ahead of its landing burn. That landing burn expected 60 seconds from now at 7 minutes, 52 seconds into flight. Now, SpaceX doesn't provide live coverage of their deployment anymore for Starlinks, which is set 1 hour, 5 minutes, 13 seconds into flight. You'll be able to follow along for confirmation of deployment over on X. So once we have landing confirmed and SECO 1 confirmed, we will be ending our live coverage. But if you haven't yet, take a moment and engage that subscribe button so you never miss another live launch coverage. Our 24/7 Starbase cameras coming soon with a really exciting feature for members, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. And we've got many launches coming up for the rest of this month, really wrapping out kind of a quieter month with some really big ones, and then June kicking off a bang with the Starliner crew flight test, asterisk if it goes, and the 4th flight test of Starship. We are now just about 15 seconds away from that landing burn beginning.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Stage 2 terminal guidance.
Landing leg deploy. Stage 1 landing confirmed.
And we have touchdown of SpaceX Falcon 9 booster 1077 having completed its 13th mission, landing on just read the instructions. Waiting to see that speed slow down on the second stage. We'll confirm SECO 1 an initial parking orbit. We're expecting that in just a few seconds from now. Here at the launch pad, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow, because we believe that space is better together. And if you haven't yet, take a moment and engage that subscribe button so you never miss another live launch coverage, docking, undocking, or return to Earth. And we have SECO 1 confirmed. Make sure to join us over on the TLP Discord. That's where our community hangs out in between streams, and we'd love to see you there. If you're interested in becoming part of our team as a moderator, launch commentator, TLP news journalist, or researcher as we work to build the world's first complete human space exploration database and platform, consider hitting an application up in the chat. Interviews are beginning next week again, and we would love to invite some of you onto our TLP crew. But that's going to do it for me from our TLP HQ studio here in Canada. My name's Zach, and we will see you next time, because space is better together. Good night.